Alright, cool.
Sipping water, sipping dreams. Think about it, what's it gon' be? 아무리 마셔도.
Hey, what's up guys, it's Venom here and welcome to a brand new video, and in this video I'm going to be doing an updated render effects tutorial. My previous one was probably about 6 months ago now, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I do my render effects now. I'm going to show you how to do some CC as well, so let's get straight into it. So I have this render here. I have not done Photoshop for this render yet, so why not just do a tutorial for this render. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to double click the layer so it opens the layer styles window. So the first thing you're going to add is an inner glow. So, this gives a nice inner glow to your render, so put it to color dodge and put the opacity to about 75, and you can mess with the size and stuff. I think this. Okay, so that looks nice. So then you're gonna want to go to gradient overlay, click on the gradient thing. You want to go to this classic black and white gradient, and you're gonna put this to overlay, set the opacity to about 50. As you can see, it gives like a nice little contrast, I guess. I don't know. And what you can also do is add a color overlay if you want to. You can add a white color overlay. You can add like a red color overlay. And just turn on the opacity and stuff like that. So this just gives a red tint to it. I'm not gonna do that because I don't usually do it. But yeah. So right now we have some pretty clean render effects. So rasterize layer style, and hit Control J to duplicate the layer, or you can just like right click it and duplicate layer and then do that. But you want to go to filter gallery, and you're going to want to go to glowing edges, and I have all these things here, but you're not gonna want to use all those. So I'm just gonna turn the edge brightness down a bit. You don't want to have it too bright, or else it'll look bad. So those are my settings. You want to copy them, and go ahead and put this on color dodge, and put the opacity to about 25. That should look good, but it's a little weird around the face. So you want to do is get a small brush and just brush away at the face like that. Alright, you can see that adds a nice glow to it. Yeah, so we're gonna merge these. Control E to merge, and we're gonna go to filter, liquefy, and we're gonna liquefy this render a bit, make it look nice. So in the liquefy tab now, just go ahead and make the hair a bit like, I don't know. So we hit that, it looks nice. I guess you can restore all. It just makes it a little bit more or less blocky, I guess. You can just liquefy the hair here. Just to make it look a bit more realistic, I guess, but it is Minecraft, so it's not going to be realistic. You can also liquefy like the clothing to make it a bit more realistic. You can also do it with this as well. Just go ahead and do that. And I think that's good. Maybe liquefy that a bit. I did not mean to do that. So that's what you can use for that. And what else we can do is if we add like is that a screenshot? Let's just add this one. Just go ahead and put that there. I'm gonna add a bit of a shadow to the feet as well, so we're just gonna grab the ellipse tool and just make like a shadow under the feet or the foot, whatever. And the filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and just shadow. Like that. Guess we can do them this for this. Mess with it a bit, see what we can do for it. It's a little bit of a effect there. So let's just erase that. And maybe lower the opacity of this one because it's just a less, I don't know. It's just the foot is higher off the ground, so lower opacity shadow. And say there's like, I don't know, say there's like a moon here. So, let's make a moon, I guess. So let's do that. So that's at a grading overlay. Didn't really do anything. We can add outer glow to this. Just added a blue over outer glow, so we can. I don't know. And okay, so that's good. That's a moon. So we want the moon to be shining on the render. So make a new layer, hold Alt and put it on that, like Alt and then click and put it on the render. So anything you do on the render will be there. So nowhere else. So we're just gonna add like a blue glow. Put your glow on linear dodge and we got something a bit cool here. That looks quite nice. And if you want, you can also add like a motion blur to the render. So that's what I'm gonna do. Just add a motion blur. And erase it around the face, just because so the face isn't like all blurry and stuff. So that looks nice. And if you have like any lights in the background of the screenshot, you can go ahead and light those up. So make a new layer, select the color, and linear dodge, and put it on 75. So that looks nice. So now we're gonna get into CC. So shift and click those and hit Control G to group your layer there. So that's all that stuff done. So what we can do is we can add a curve. We're gonna make like a little S shape like that. Okay, so now we can add a bit of exposure. We can turn this up, we can turn this down a bit, not too much though, and the gamma correction, we can mess with that a bit, and we can just lower the opacity of this to about 75 or 50, I guess. This does look cool though, so let's go to 25. Yeah, that should work. And what we can now do is we can go to color balance. We can add a bit of red, a bit of blue, and there. So that looks nice. So that I like that. So now what we can do is we can go ahead and open a pack. So you can go ahead and open Fire's Essentials. And I still have it. I don't think I have it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and open my recent pack that I made. You don't need to use this if you don't want to. You can use Fire's Essentials, but since I don't have it anymore, I can't use it. So yeah. Let's just open it up. Close this. So we're gonna go ahead and we're going to you're going to get a stock. So just grab this one. You can get these from Fire's Essentials as well, but I did make these ones, so that's why I was saying yeah, you could use my pack if you really want to, and we can use these to add a nice glow to the render. As you can see there, it looks pretty nice. We can erase parts that just look kind of weird, or we can just move this over a bit, and that just looks cool. So yeah, so we're gonna add a gradient map now. Alright guys, so I just added a gradient map. As you can see, it looks pretty nice. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do more to the sky. So one thing we're gonna do is we're going to add a bit of light to the stars, and maybe add a bit more stars. Like maybe, I don't know. So just we're gonna make them a bit of a purpley color or whatever, or not. I don't know. So we're just gonna add a bit of light to them, make them look nice. So yeah, it looks cool. So just make it lower the opacity a bit. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add some particles, as more stars, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, that looks nice. Let's just erase the particles that make no sense. So just be all the ones that are in the sky. So as you can see, those look pretty nice. And we're going to then add some clouds or smoke. Actually, let's add clouds because we can make them look better. So let's just add clouds, and we're gonna make them a bit like, I don't know, kind of like clouds that would be at night, I guess. I don't know. So let's just put these in the sky. So just gonna curves like that. Same with this one. Turn the lightness down a bit more, and we're just gonna merge those, and we're going to erase the parts that are not in the sky. So let's just do that. Let's zoom in a bit so we can be more precise with this. So just need to be a little bit more precise. Should be fine almost. Just make it a bit, the brush a bit smaller, and that should be good. Yeah, that's good. So I mean, they're not really noticeable, but I guess we can make a copy of one, just put it, or copy them and put them there. No, yeah, I guess that looks cool. So what we could also do is duplicate the background, and we can add an inner glow to that just to give it some more light. Use that, and we can merge them now, and maybe we can add a Gaussian blur to the background, and then erase the parts that you would be seeing normally. So that looks alright, I guess. Let's just erase this entire side. And so that looks okay. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a bit of shadow to this. So we're gonna take some white, and of course we're gonna color over white where you see the light, and we're gonna color over black where we see the so we're gonna put this on overlay, I guess, and we're gonna just turn down the opacity of that, and let's make another layer for the white again. Let's put that one there, and we're gonna put this to overlay. It just gives it a bit of brightness, and for the black, you can do the same. We need to make another layer of that so we can add a bit more black on that part. So then put that on overlay, and then put the opacity down like that. So as you can see, this looks pretty cool. I don't know what kind of effects we could add. I guess you could add try like a purple orb kind of thing. I'll try that, see if that'll look nice. So we're gonna select modify contract, probably about no, select modify contract, let's try 50, and control and delete. So that's that. So we're gonna go to filter, liquify, and we're gonna do some things with this thingy here. So let's try that, and linear dodge, or something else, I don't know. Does look quite cool though. So let's try to liquify that, or warp it rather. So let's go ahead and warp it like that. I don't know, it just looks kind of cool. So let's go ahead and continue to warp it a bit. Let's go ahead and do that. And now we're gonna have to add a purplish glow to the body, or to the parts that don't really have a purplish glow to them. So that's what we did there. That looks nice. So yeah, so you can go into my pack, or whatever pack you have, you can get effects from it or whatever. So just gonna grab this effect and see if we can do something cool with that. So we can put it there. Seems to look kinda cool. And we can make it a purplish color, and we can move it up a bit. go ahead and erase this here, 'cause, you know, and it just looks cool right there. So yeah, you can also add like a kind of like a glow to the eye. So just take your lasso tool and just kind of make like a kind of shape like that. Also, you have your new layer selected and Control Delete depending on the color, if it's white or whatever. Filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Filter, blur, motion blur. We can just kind of mess around with that. We can kind of like glows to it. If you really want to. And we can also liquefy this to make it no more of kind of like make it look more I don't know the word to describe it, but it's kind of cooler, I guess. So that looks cool. And we can add an outer glow to it if we want to, make it a purplish outer glow. Well, it should look nice, and it just that looks nice right there. So that looks pretty cool. Let's try to add a purple glow to this instead of a white glow. And let's just turn this down to 50. See how that looks. That looks nice right there. And again, we can just add a purple glow to the body. Just because it will look nice.
It seems you had some trouble with the keypad. I see what you were trying to type, and I will autocorrect it for you.
So
Thank you for selecting
erase some of it.
Exotic Butters.
So yeah, that looks pretty cool. We can also try to add some kind of like a purple glows to the building, I guess. So let's go ahead and make a new layer. Just make a purple glow on it, and you can do linear dodge, or you can do overlay doesn't look good. Screen, soft light maybe? No. Linear dodge does seem to look the best. Just turn down the opacity of that and just erase some unneeded things. And what we can do is we can then add a white glow to that to make it look kind of better, I guess. And we can just put this to around 75 there. And just makes a kind of a nice glow. So yeah, I actually like the look of this a lot. I'm not gonna lie. We got a bit of CC. We can add a bit more. We can add a black and white. I'm not sure if that would look good. I usually put it to around 20 the opacity. It does look kind of nice. Put it to 15. Yeah, that should do. So that looks really nice. We can make it a bit darker by adding, or we can add a hue and saturation, I guess. That looks pretty cool. Just gonna put that to about 80. And that looks really cool. It just gives the glow on the wall a bit of a better look to it. It looks a lot better in my opinion. So yeah. What you can do to make this look cool as well is you can add black bars if you really want to. So just simply add a black bar there. Let me get rid of the stroke on it. Just duplicate that and put it at the top there. And it just looks pretty nice. That. And we barely used any effects for this at all from the pack. Also, if you want, you can add a color correction. Well, this is a contrast CC that I have in the pack. If you want to take a look at it, I think it looks really nice. I use it for almost all my banners, all my thumbnails. I use this color correction for, and it's in my pack. So yeah. So I can go ahead and close that pack. So that's gonna be pretty much it for this tutorial. Just want to show you one more thing for when you save. I don't use the save as feature anymore unless I'm saving it as a PSD. So I'm just gonna save the PSD real quickly. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what I do to save now. I go to File, Export, and Save for Web. It just keeps like everything the way you want it, and it just keeps the like when you use a save as, it kind of messes up the colors. Hence the feature here that says Preview Monitor Color, and if you go to these other things, it just looks the best on this one. So I save it to my desktop, tutorial, image, and it will save like so. And yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this tutorial. If you did, make sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see all you guys next time.